If I could go back and give my 22-year-old self just 5 money rules, these would be them. I made every mistake in the book. I lived paycheck to paycheck, ignored debt, and thought investing was only for rich people. These simple rules changed everything for me, and they can do the same for you in 2026. The first money rule I wish I had known at 22 is simple, but it changes everything. Pay yourself first. Before you do anything else with your paycheck, lock in a chunk for your future self, not after rent, not after takeout, not after a late night online shopping spree. Right away, in 2026, this is easier than ever. Most banks let you split your direct deposit automatically, and you can send 10% or even 20% of every paycheck straight into a high-yield savings account without lifting a finger. Some apps even round up your spare change from every purchase and sweep it into savings. That is money you will not even miss, but it adds up fast. Automatically. Let us get specific. If you set up an auto transfer of $100 a month into a high yield account earning 4.5% annual percentage yield, you are not just building an emergency fund, you are making your money work for you. Ally, Marcus, and Discover all offer these accounts with no fees in instant transfers, so you do not have to wait days to use your cash if you need it. Auto transfer. When I first tried this, I started small, just $100 a month, but seeing that balance grow automatically felt like my first real win. It was my money, but now it was my safety net, not just a number in my checking account waiting to disappear. If you are not sure where to start, just pick a percentage, 10, 15, or 20% of your take-home pay, and set up an auto transfer for payday. Even if it feels tiny, it is the habit that matters. This is the foundation for every other wealth-building habit in 2026. You do not need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. Like and subscribe for more practical money advice you can actually use. The next money rule I wish I would have tattooed on my forehead at 22, protect the gap. That is the space between what you earn and what you spend. If paying yourself first is building the dam, protecting the gap is plugging the leaks. It is not about never having fun. It is about making sure your money does not sneak out the back door while you are not looking. Budgeting in 2026 does not have to mean spreadsheets that make your eyes glaze over. You have options. The zero-based budget is like giving every dollar a job, so nothing sits around slacking off. Or if you want something simpler, the 50-30-20 rule works. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings and investing. Both frameworks do one thing really well. They make sure you always keep that gap wide enough to build wealth, even if your income is not huge. Here is where things get real. Lifestyle leaks. Old me would sign up for every streaming service, let gym memberships gather dust, and order takeout like it was a food group. Smart me does a quarterly expense audit, scroll through your bank app, spot anything you have not used in months, and cancel it. Seriously, just cancel one subscription today and see how good it feels. That is money back in your gap every single month. A couple more friction hacks: set a 24-hour rule before any big purchase and try a no-spend weekend once a month. You will be surprised how much sticks around. The bigger the gap, the faster you build your savings, crush debt, and start investing. That is the secret sauce behind all the best money rules for 2026. Keep the gap safe, and your future self will thank you. You do not need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. Like and subscribe for more practical money advice you can actually use. Compound interest is the closest thing to magic that exists in personal finance. Imagine planting a tiny seed, just $10 a week, and letting it sit in good soil for years. That seed does not just grow, it multiplies. By the time you are ready to cash out, it is not a sapling, it is a whole forest. Let us meet Maya. She is not a Wall Street wizard. She is a 23-year-old barista who set up a $10 weekly auto invest into a basic index fund. No stock picking, no market timing, no spreadsheets, just a recurring transfer that happens while she is making lattes. Here is the wild part. If Maya keeps this up and her investments earn the average market return of 7% a year, she is on track to have about $50,000 after 30 years. That is from less than the cost of 2 fancy coffees a week. Now you might be thinking, but $10 a week is nothing. That is exactly the trap most people fall into. The real power is in time, not the amount. Compound interest rewards the early and the consistent, not just the wealthy. In fact, studies show that people who automate even tiny investments are 78% more likely to stick with it for years. That is the difference between a hopeful start and real wealth building habits in 2026. So if you are waiting until you have enough to invest, stop. Start now, start small, and let time do the heavy lifting. The best money advice for 2026. Do not underestimate the snowball. You do not need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. Like and subscribe for more practical money advice you can actually use. High interest debt is like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain wide open. No matter how hard you hustle, your money keeps slipping away. That's why the next money rule I wish I'd learned at 22 is simple. Defeat high interest debt fast. Credit card rates in 2026 still hover around 21%. And that kind of interest can double what you owe in just a few years if you're not careful. Let's put a real face on this. Meet Priya, a composite of every friend who's ever groaned at their credit card bill. Priya owed $1,400 on her card at 23 with a 22% annual percentage rate. She had been making minimum payments for months, but the balance barely moved. Then she tried something different. She picked the avalanche method, targeting her highest interest debt first. Each month, she paid her minimum plus an extra $150. 10 months later, that balance was gone. No more interest drag, no more stress eating ramen noodles at midnight. Some people swear by the snowball method, paying off the smallest balance first for a quick win. Both work, but here is the trick. Whichever you choose, automate 1 extra payment every month. That is the move that actually gets you out of the hole. And if you are tempted by a balance transfer offer, read the fine print. Some cards lure you in with 0% for a few months, then slam you with retroactive interest if you are even a day late. Freeing up that cash is a game changer. Once Priya's debt was gone, she had $150 extra every month to put toward investing. That is how you unlock the next level of wealth building habits in 2026. Debt is not a life sentence, it is just a puzzle with a solution. You do not need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. Like and subscribe for more practical money advice you can actually use. The simplest move in building long-term wealth begins with the employer 401k match. For someone earning $48,000, a 50% match on the first 6% means $72 a month, $864 a year added to savings automatically. Jason, a composite of everyday savers, set his contributions to capture the full match, then automated a $25 a week investment into a low-cost ETF. That is $100 a month quietly compounding in the background with 0 commission trades and expense ratios as low as 0.03%. Owning a slice of the entire market has never been more accessible. The real advantage is not chasing trends, but building habits that run themselves. This final step completes the system: steady, automated investing powered by time, not luck. The foundation for lasting growth is set in motion. Picture this. 5 years after starting with nothing but a pile of debt and a lot of hope, I am sitting at 27 looking at my accounts. The credit cards are zeroed out. No more interest dragging me down. There is a 3-month emergency fund sitting pretty, enough to cover rent, groceries, and even a surprise dentist visit just in case life throws a curveball. And every month, like clockwork, a chunk of my paycheck slips into a growing investment account. That little snowball of $50 a month in index funds has turned into a real portfolio, not just a dream. The system is not flashy, but it works. Automatic, boring, and quietly powerful. I am not living off ramen. I am not stressing over every bill, and I don't need a 6-figure salary to feel secure. This is what momentum looks like in real life, debt-free, buffered against emergencies, and finally letting my money work for me. That is the magic of sticking with the best money rules for 2026. You do not need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. Like and subscribe for more practical money advice you can actually use. Right now, real wealth isn't about flashy paychecks or wild risks. It's about small, steady moves anyone can make. In 2026, with inflation and student debt still real, these money rules are your superpower. You don't need to be perfect or rich to build wealth in 2026. You just need these 5 simple rules and the courage to start. If you like this, hit like and subscribe for more practical money advice.